Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be previewing this coming Saturday's meeting here from Fanny Bay, National Seniors Australia Race Day, the 3rd of September. Fields overall are a little on the light side, with a meeting a week ago and a third successive fixture next Saturday, but for this time of the year they are quite acceptable. Some 36 horses have accepted for the 5 races, with some excellent interstate fields to complement the local action. First race is timed to go at 3:19 p.m, while the last of the 5 is scheduled to jump at 5:50 p.m. In the first, the National Seniors Australia Top End Branch Handicap, an open event over 1,300 metres. My numbers are 2, 4 and 1. In the first, we see the return to racing of the Palmerston Sprint winner in Syncline, of course trained by Gary Clark, and Jared Todd retains the mount. Gary's really got a bit of a stranglehold on this event. There's only the 5 runners and he has 3 of them. Syncline, Grand Old Galloper, the captain, and Patria as well. So he really looks to hold the key, as I mentioned. Syncline did such a great job winning the Palmerston on day 7 of the carnival. On that occasion he carried 56.5. He's gone up 61.5, or got 261.5 here, so that's an increase of 5 kilograms, and up in trip from 1,200 to 1,300 metres. But that shouldn't worry him, the trip that is. He's had 10 starts over 1,300 metres for 2 wins and 5 seconds. He's a class galloper, he's a quality act, and he should be winning the first, I would suspect. 2 on top. To beat 4, Dominus, trained by Chris Nash. His team's been racing pretty well lately, and Sonia Wiseman takes the mount here. Disappointed a couple of times late in the carnival after winning here pre-carnival and breaking the 1,600 metre track record. He finished down the track at his last start here behind Living the Dream and the Metric Mile. Not much went right on that occasion. He's obviously been freshened up, hasn't had a run since then, drops back in trip here to the 1,300, and I think he could go a bold one, number 4. And number 1, the captain, you can't leave him out of calculations. Last start 4th behind the Syncline in the Palmerston was a super run. He sat 3 wide the trip, the old boy, and he battled on gamely. He'd won at the previous start, carrying 63.5 kilograms during the carnival. So still retains that zest for racing, even though he's now a 10-year-old. My numbers in the first, 2, 4 and 1. The second is the SBA Office National Atrobus Maiden plate for the non-winners. Over 1,200 metres, and my numbers here 1, 2 and 7. 1 on top for me, Air Command. He gets another chance for Chris Nash and Adam Nichols. These last couple of runs have been second placings here during the carnival and then down the road at Catherine just a short 2 or 3 weeks ago. He goes up in trip from that 1,000 at Catherine to the 1,200. I think that'll suit him better, but he'd want to be winning. He's had 12 starts now for 2 seconds and 2/3, so a few questions beginning to be asked of number 1, Air Command, but I think he's hard to beat here. Ahead of 2, Bear Forever, trained by Tom Logan and Sonia Wiseman aboard. He raced well during the carnival, a couple of placings at his most recent 2 outings, bring him right into this. And in for 3rd, number 7, Layla's Wish. Didn't mind its run at Catherine. Paul Shires aboard for Phil Cole. Shares he rode last time, retains the mount here and open to some improvement. In the second, my numbers are 1, 2 and 7. The third's the Judy Chanen 80th birthday handicap. A shout out to Judy for that milestone birthday. This event over 1,200 metres for the 0 to 70 gallopers. This race could quite easily have been run during the carnival, such is the quality of the field. It's a really, really good lineup. Doesn't make picking the winner any easier, I can tell you. I've settled on the numbers of 5, 1 and 3. Going with 5, the Mistral, trained by Gary Clark and Jared Todd aboard. Really impressed with this horse. Won twice during the carnival on days 5 and then on Cup Day in 0 to 58 and then 0 to 62 grade. Goes up in grade a touch to the 0 to 70, but he does drop in weight. Carried 59.5 last time. He's down half a kilo only, but such was the merit in those 2 winning performances. I think he's a horse with a real future. Number 5, the Mistral on top for me. Ahead of 1, Mr. Monaro, the last start winner here on Cup Day. That was a good effort in this grade over this trip. Trained by Mark Nine, Sonia Wiseman aboard. Shorter race well again. And then for 3rd, number 3, Illustrating Law. Chris Pollard trains. Casey Hunter aboard. This horse created a really good impression when winning at his first Darwin start. That was on day 7, beating Zip Lane. He drops in weight. He goes up in trip, and I think he'll give the favourites, of which he will be 1, plenty to worry about here. My numbers in the 3rd, 5, 1 and 3. The 4th, the McGrath Group Handicap, over 1,100 now. This is the benchmark 54 event, and my numbers here are 5, 4 and 3. She's racing well, Champs d'Or. She won 2 starts back at Catherine, and then a good run here the other day behind Minister. Flew home late. That was 1,000 metres. The extra 100 metres won't worry her one iota. Stan Sakos is building up a pretty good rapport with this mare trained by Chris Nash, and I think she can return to winning form again. She's racing that well. Number 5. Ahead of 4, Fraction Late. David Bates trains, and Alice Lindsay, visiting again from South Australia, takes them out. Dave had this horse in last week, but he just pulled the horse out, thought maybe another week would be all to the good. Was a winner 2 starts back during the carnival, then 4th at its last outing. That was on Cup Day behind Don't Say It. Must be right in the mix here. And in for 3rd, number 3, Familiar. Getting a bit long in the tooth now, 10-year-old Familiar, but last start at Catherine was good. 2nd behind Light and Dark, possesses plenty of pace. Wayne Davis takes them out here for Phil Cole. 5, 4 and 3, my numbers in the 4th. And the last, the Sherpin conveyancing handicap, over 1,600 metres. Trevor Sherpin and his team, great supporters of this National Seniors Race Day over a good number of years. He'll no doubt be on course, will Sir Pig, so it'll be always good to see him. He's a great supporter of racing. This over the mile, as we mentioned, for the 0 to 58 gallopers. And my numbers here are 2, 1 and 4. Against the Tide for me, Emma Steele and Adam Nichols having a good run. They won a race here last week, of course, with Overruled. And Against the Tide last started here last week behind Siacam, ran 4th on that occasion. Going up in trip, I think, is the key to Against the Tide. He's got a pretty good record over the mile, and I think can return to winning ways here. Number 2, ahead of 1, Prince Reuben, Gary Clark, Jared Todd, the combo. Good run here the other day behind Mr. Boom Jangles, finished a close-up 3rd. Fought on strongly, and that was a really tough effort. And in for 3rd, number 4, Precautionary. Jason Manning, the trainer, Paul Shires in the saddle this week. Vanessa with a couple of enforced weeks off. She, of course, rode a winner for Jason last week aboard Minister, but she's not riding for the next couple of weeks. And Precautionary, good 4th here on Cup Day behind the smart We Will Remember, and sure to race well in this event over the 1,600 metres. Numbers in the last, 2, 1 and 4. Best bet of the day, race 3, number 5, the Mistral. Gave me the impression of a horse with a real future in his performances during the carnival, and I think can carry on that winning way. So race 3, number 5, the Mistral. Well, the best roughie comes up in race 2, number 3, X Games. Race 2, number 3, X Games. Watch for it to put in a bold showing here. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk, but we'll be back again next week in advance of our 3rd successive meeting in the Top End, and that will, of course, be the 10th of September. And until then, good luck and good punting.